Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the technical issues I'm having with the internet. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is Jeff.
Hello.
It's saying we've been live for 12 minutes.
Awesome.
What do you got?
Um, 1 minute, 29 seconds.
All right. My computer is weird, and I think the internal battery for my computer's dead.
Oh, that could probably be it. So the time's all off on it.
Yeah, because it can't keep time. Like I have to keep going in and resetting my clock, like the
Yeah,
time.
that's
So I'm
probably what it
thinking
is.
the internal battery is dead. So I'll wait till we take our Christmas break and then I'll take it in and have it fixed because I have no clue how to fix any of these computer components and have somebody take a look at it. But
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
yeah, I don't have any tolerance for that. Plus it's a Mac Mini.
Yeah.
So it's not like a regular computer where you just take the four screws out, pop it off, and pop it in.
Morning, Ray.
Good morning, Raymond. Good morning from my work. It's good that you're at work and can watch us. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll have to take it in and get the. That's the only thing I can conclude is that internal battery's dead.
something's going on. Yeah.
Like, what else could it possibly? Why? Because isn't the internal battery is what's supposed to keep the clock.
Yeah, that should keep all your clock and your time and all that stuff going. So if there's an issue
Because
there,
I don't leave my computer on. I always turn it off at the end of use. So that's the only thing I can think of. So
that could be it.
we'll take it one step at a time.
That's all you can do, bud.
That's all we can. That's why people get paid money is so they can fix your computer problems. So how's
How
life?
have you been otherwise?
Good. Just working and painting. I'm still working. I'm diving into this uh, resin model thing for Star Wars Legion for Jason. So I'm getting the characters painted and I'm going to do some airbrushing on the display stand and all that stuff. Good morning, Joe. Exhausted from my work room.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. So I'm going to, just been working on that and just putzing, working on some Gundam stuff. We went to the Gundam thing over at Andy's Hobby headquarters. Can't watch, but really.
Road supposed to, yeah.
So I went to the Gundam meetup over at
Oh yeah.
Andy's. So Andy and I went over there. It's weird, Andy and Andy. Um, and it was good. It was fun. Great group of people. So we got there around 10. Typical kind of hobby hangout type thing. People brought in their stuff and showed off their models and, putzing around.
Right.
Very quiet group. So it wasn't like a meeting or anything like that. It was just, hey, come in. Everyone kind of kept it quiet. No one's
Right.
screaming and hooting and hollering and that kind of stuff. It was a little bit moist in the room because we've been having our weather and it's not an air conditioned, it's a warehouse, so it's swamp
Right.
cool.
Right.
But we had a good time. We putzed around for a couple hours and hung out, and then we left and grabbed a bite to eat. One of the guys there brought in those. If you go to the Discord, David shared a link to some paints, and it's supposed to be, I forget the name of the company off the top of my head. Uh, Acrylic based paints that are just as good as lacquer based paints. Like it's
Right.
supposed to be really good coverage. So he brought in his paint collection. I got to take a look at that because you know me and collecting paint. So yeah, it was just a fun event. Andy and I just sat there and
Well, it
clipped.
sounds like it does sound like fun though. I mean,
Yeah, it was good. It's supposed to be the first Saturday of every month. I don't know if we're gonna make the October one because that will be. We might make that October 4th. We might make that.
that'd be fun. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So we had a good time.
That's awesome.
So we both have like a separate model just for that event. Like
Oh, cool.
a model like that I'm just taking to that. Good morning, Mark.
Mr. Bradley, how are you today, sir?
So I have a model I just want to take to that and work on it at that particular thing to a certain point. Once I get into painting it and all that kind of stuff, then I'll find something else.
Right.
So because that's just the way I roll. I don't think that's not a venue, in my opinion, for like painting.
Yeah, it'd be hard. Well, unless you're using markers or something like that.
Yeah, something maybe panel lining or something that you're not like gonna make a mess on Andy's tables. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun just to meet up with some people. Model Zona is gonna be November 1st.
Model Zone. I remember that very, very well.
Yeah, so I'll be heading over there. Good morning, Tim. I'll be heading over to Model Zona because a lot of the Gundam, there's going to be like a Gundam category.
Right.
So where we were sitting, I guess we were sitting next to the people that are going to be judging or arranging, because that's what they talked about for the majority of their time that we were there, was like setting up categories and pointing and all those like model show type things. So I don't know if they're part of the Gundam community group. Like there's a group of like Gundam. I don't know if they're part of that or if they were just judges.
Right. That's kind of cool.
Learn about it. Had a good time. That's all that matters.
Mark has been trying to pull me in, and rightfully so, because I really want to. He's got a Zoom call they do where they just get together and model. I haven't had a chance to join yet just because I've got with Jack's passing and everything else. I've just been busy, and I had to go to my granddaughter. She's a cheerleader, so I spent the evening running her around. So
yeah.
But I did get some stuff done. I got some pics in today, and I'm now up to my elbows in Emperor's Children, and some Custodes vehicles, and I'm heading rapidly. Once the Emperor's Children out of the way and the Custode vehicles out of the way, I can do another Sanguinius.
Okay.
This one's with the demon base, which will be very cool.
And you love painting Sanguinius.
I love painting Sanguinius. He's actually very, very cool.
Is this the Forge World one or the GW?
Yeah, this is the Forge World one. Remember when I bought the limited edition demon base he came with?
Yeah.
It's got the demon base with it, and so that should be pretty cool. But right now, the Emperor's Children, I've cleared the other stuff out of my way. I'm working on the Emperor's Children. I gotta finish up some detail work on some Sisters of Battle for Carlos that I'm massively late on. Because Carlos is too nice a guy and lets me get away with it, and I just haven't had a chance. But the big focus for me the last 5-10 days has been the passing of my little kitty.
Yeah, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, actually, we had him for 15 years. He was a great cat. He picked me. I didn't pick him. He just said, "You're my human," and that's just how it was going to be. So
yes, cats pick us. We don't pick them.
Yeah. The only thing that shocked me about the whole thing was I have, in my entire life with pets, like we had a family pet growing up. We had pets in the house with the kids, but they were their pets.
Right.
So I always was the, stoic, be there for them, help take care of you, they take care of. But Jax, when Jax passed, it hit me harder. It kind of surprised me how hard it hit me.
Well, wasn't Jax also? Weren't you married when you got Jax?
Yeah, he was. Basically, we were married, and Shara and the girls brought him and his sister home from a visit back to Ohio. Shara wanted Pieces, which was the calico that was part of the litter.
That's
and
a cool
Jax
name.
was there, and he was pure black. And she goes, "Well, I'll take him too," and brought Jax home. And initially, I guess they asked me what we should name him, and I said, "Let's call him Vader because he's all black." And the female contingent of the parliament that ran my house voted nay. And I was also in the Sons of Anarchy at that point in time. So, okay, well, let's name him Jax. And so Jax stuck. And then he decided that I was going to be his human. I was never a cat person. He climbed in my lap. The first day he was there. And I said, no. And I put him on the floor. Because he was a kitten, so he had to claw his way up the side of the chair to get it on my lap. So he did it again, put him on the floor. And this little dance went on for 2 to 3 weeks. And I finally said, I just gave up.
Yeah.
And so every night when I would come home, he'd be in my lap or somewhere on my chair. And I just kind of got used to it. So I didn't have him in Arizona. He was living with my daughter. And about a week after I moved back, there was a knock at my door. She came walking in with a cat box and Jax.
Here you
Said,
go, Dad.
here's your boy. So
yeah. So that's kind of that was a connection you had to your children and your previous life. So yeah, it's hard. Good morning, David. How are you, sir? Mark made a comment here. Many local shows have been reaching out to Gundam communities to include them into the shows. That's
makes sense.
yeah, that does make a lot of sense. The new Gundam models I've been picking up more. Shocking, I know. But the new Gundam models are actually a lot better than the old Gundam models.
Oh yeah. Well, for you guys watching, this look of surprise and shock that he's buying them was complete act. I wasn't surprised at all.
They're just intense.
They're nice. They're great kids. They're fantastic kids.
Raymond's asking if you're going to get a new cat.
No, I don't think so, because the relationship I had with Jax was literally all his doing. He kind of adopted me. And I think that's what hit me the hardest when he passed. So I don't see getting another cat to replace him. If something happens and another random animal attaches themselves to me, then I'll probably do it then. But I don't want to replace him. He's irreplaceable, to be honest.
Yeah, and most pets are. You can't replace a pet. You have to kind of let the universe open up. And if a little stray kitten comes walking up to you one day at the complex, you're like, well, you can't be out here. And you just take them in temporarily, to find a place for them. And then they attach themselves to you. Then you're like, all right, I guess I got a cat.
Plus, there were so many gifts he got. The other day, I was short. It was like I got him back on Wednesday from the a place called the Animal Soul, which takes care of remains. But the night before Tuesday, I was sitting around kind of lamenting his passing. And I looked around and there was something missing from my floor that just hit me really hard and it got me all emotional again. I vacuum once a week. But in that week, there will be large clumps of black fur all over my carpet. And I don't have those now.
Yeah.
So it was that, believe it or not, that was actually kind of rough. I'm like going, me and I go, well, I don't have to worry about, the vacuuming, but now it's like, wait a minute.
Well, for the rest of us, please continue vacuuming your carpet.
I think my kids will make that happen. They'll make
Yes.
Dad,
Yes.
you need to clean. So
please continue to clean your home. You shed, just so you know.
I absolutely, and I did say that after I did say a while back that I thought that once Jax and I had parted ways, I might go get a dog. But I don't know right now. Don't think anything can fill the gap, because I come home, I'm still expecting to be there at the front door. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still just kind of surprised at how emotionally it hit me that he's actually gone. I didn't realize he had being the only other living thing in the apartment. And quite frankly, the only thing I ever talked to in the apartment when it was just him and I. So, and I still talk to him. He's actually, now that I have his remains back, and I got a little lock of hair, and I got a plaster circle with his paw print.
Yeah.
So I still have a tendency to talk to Jax. So we'll see how long that mental deficiency.
I'm sure you two had wonderful conversations.
Oh yeah, we were the odd couple. Yeah. Yeah. He would try to kill me every morning. And these are the things that have been that I'm still doing by habit. I was literally counting the days of my life by the number of cat food things I had. And I would get up and he would follow me meowing the entire time into the kitchen until I filled his cat bowl. And then I would go back to the bedroom. But rather than him leading the way or walking beside me, he would stop and wait till I was halfway down the hallway and then dart past me at lightning speed.
Mm-hmm.
But he wouldn't go to the right or the left. He'd go directly between my legs. And I'm like, you're trying to kill me.
Yes.
You're just trying to, and that was the kind of conversation. Jax, stop. You're trying to stop. Or he'd be on the arm of my chair and I'd love on him for a bit. And then I'd stop. And he had a tendency, when he wanted attention, he'd headbutt you.
Mhm.
You just bash your head, and I'd go, Jack, stop it. And I would put him down. I remember one time I put him down. I'm watching television. I grabbed my glass off the table that was on the same side, took a big drink, and got a mouthful of black fur because he had stuck his tail directly into my glass. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. And Joe brings up a great point. It's going to take time. Just let it. It's a process.
yeah. Well, I've also gotten used to him when I'm painting, because when I sit here painting, he curls up on my feet.
Mhm.
He would curl up, and I don't have that anymore. So it's going to take a while before I'm ready to figure out what I want to do.
Yeah, cats are interesting. They do try to kill their owners.
Yeah.
Mr. Murder Mittens will literally sit on the rug in the hallway when I'm waking up in the morning and wait till the very, very, like, as my foot is moving, waits to the very last. And there's been a few times I've tripped over him, and yeah, it's like, you know, I'm up. You've got cat senses. Like, I know I'm coming. Why don't you?
Yeah. I'm sure my neighbors heard him screech, and then me say something like, "Well, you dumbass, you wouldn't have stood there." You know, and I'm walking, and he just tries to dart in front of me, and I get his tail.
Yeah.
And he would, and I'd be like, you dumbass, you know I was coming down. Stop.
Your inner Red Foreman comes out.
Yes.
Red Foreman is probably one of the best TV dads I can ever recall.
I actually thought my dad should sue them for stealing his identity. Yeah. Because my dad would refer to me and my brothers as dumbasses.
Yes. Yes. Such a great TV dad. Such a great role model. So I still watch that 70s show on a regular basis.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, the guy that played Foreman, whose name is eluding me now, I just read an article.
Foreman or Red Foreman?
Eric Foreman.
Okay, Eric Foreman. It's the son. Okay.
He is now 47.
Oh, God.
Which was the same age as the lady that played his mom was when they did the show. Yeah.
Red is my role model. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if today's standards you can be a dad like that.
Yeah.
Probably get CPS called on you or something.
Yeah. So that's how it was growing up, for me anyway. So.
It was for me too. My dad's saying was, "Mess with the bull, get the horn." So,
yeah, my dad had two. I should have written all mine. The only one I remember from my dad, which was kind of a backhanded compliment for me, is I literally heard him. We were in the shop, and I had screwed something up, and they were picking on me. And this was my dad's construction crew that worked for him. They were giving me a hard time. And my dad goes, "Well, I have to say, Jeff doesn't screw the pooch very often, but when he does, it's usually the biggest pooch in the neighborhood."
That's an interesting comment. It's like,
yeah.
So you don't screw around very often, but when you do, you just pick the biggest one you can possibly find.
Yeah, it creates the biggest problems that could possibly be created.
That's actually a really good backhanded comment.
Yeah. Then there was one time we were in Arizona. My parents had moved to Arizona, and my dad was over talking to Shara, and I came out of the back of the apartment, and I said, "Hey, Dad," and I walked by, and my dad just looks at Shara, and he goes, "You do realize you could do so much better." and then shortly after that, he left. And Shara looked at me, and she goes, "Wow, your dad was in a good mood. He was joking around." I said, "About what?" She goes, "Well, he told me I could do better." Oh, he wasn't joking. He probably meant that completely.
Yeah. Good time.
Yeah.
All right, Raymond.
Go do some work, man.
Got to go big or go home. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Go big or go home. All right. Outside of that, you want to jump into photos, or you got
the photos real quick?
Kind of go into a.
As soon as I remember how to do this.
I don't have any photos to share in today's photos.
I noticed that.
It's all right.
I was disappointed.
Ooh, look
but not disappointed in this. This is gorgeous.
Look at all freehand.
No, I believe it was a stencil.
Okay.
but it's still placed well. I mean, placing a stencil like that is a chore.
Yeah.
And he did a one. Dave did a one. This is from Dave Hummel. I believe he actually was David. He did. David is in. David. This is. I believe it's a stencil. Correct me if I'm wrong, buddy. But that is absolutely beautiful.
Yes. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
And then here is both wings.
Oh, it can fly. Okay, David's saying it's a template. Very
It's a
cool. But
template.
still
All right.
looks, because it looks like the panels that the wings are on are a darker black or a satin black, while everything
Yep.
else is just a shade different, which really makes it stand out so much more on the model.
Well, the hardest part of this is the placement to get it to where it looks balanced.
Yeah.
Did a very good job. It looks
Centering
fantastic.
that all up.
I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Hey, David, where did you get the template from? And if you don't mind, if you could put that link in the on the Discord, so if anybody else wants to check what other templates they have, that would be great. Because this is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Beautiful.
Very well done.
Love it.
And then Joe went on a rampage.
David said it was a pain.
I bet it was a pain. I absolutely bet it was a pain. I've placed knotwork stencils for some Viking stuff, and they are a royal pain. So I imagine that was even worse. Etsy, okay, fantastic. But check out Etsy.
All right.
But Joe's got on a tirade, locking himself in his paint room.
Yeah. He went Pumpkinhead. When I was looking at the previous picture, I was like, something don't look right about the back of that head. I just looked. I didn't know if it was hair or not. Now we got the front Pumpkinhead.
It's a pumpkin.
Yes. Need to put some vines on the ground, like he's coming out of the vines.
This is another Tick villain, but instead of Chairface Chippendale, it's Pumpkinhead Chippendale.
There you go. Oh, look at the background. Perfect background for this.
Yeah.
Perfect background.
That looks like the Rifleman.
Yes. And I believe this is all for Dead Man's Hand.
Yeah.
Which is a game that is getting more and more attention these days.
And I'm sure no one got my reference to The Rifleman.
I'm sure.
Which used to be a TV show.
An old TV show.
Very old TV show.
It is The Rifleman.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Nothing like bringing back those old characters. Look at that.
That's from a John Wayne film.
That looks like John Wayne.
Yep, that's definitely from a John Wayne film.
Yeah. Uh-oh. It's a showdown.
David got it. He's old. He's like us. He's old.
I love being old. Good stuff.
Yeah. This makes you want to go back and make Darren finish his Deadland campaign. Yeah, Rio Bravo. Good movie. Woo-hoo.
Yes. It's kind of cool when gaming companies can make a model that immediately takes us to a movie or some sort of reference point.
Yeah, some kind of pop culture reference. Yeah.
Yeah. Just makes it so much better.
Yeah, back in the days.
Dang.
Westerns were cool.
They're still cool. I still think they're cool.
I do too.
Nothing beats a good Western. The Magnificent Seven. Such good stuff. Dang. Really getting them up there. Got all kinds of stuff going. You even did the rims and the bases, Joe. I'm very excited about this. He did a checker pattern or like a flannel pattern on the green guy.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Very cool.
Got some striping in there.
So much cowboy. Oh, now we're switching.
Yeah.
This almost looks like cartoons.
It reminded me of like a movie like The Great Race or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Movie accurate colors.
Ooh.
I'm thinking like the Red Baron or something.
Yeah, there was. I just don't know why there's a movie. There's a race around the world that this reminds me of. But I could be wrong. And then Steve actually posted some stuff, a work in progress.
Yeah, he said so. I think if I read the comment correct, his dad gave him all his Space Wolf stuff.
Sweet.
So he's going in and painting up some stuff.
Looks great. Looking good. Heading that way.
Big old Axeman. Oh, it's kind of cool seeing that green for the gate.
Interesting color choice.
Yeah. I want to see how it turns out finished. Oh, what are these?
These are some knights
for Conquest.
Conquest. I had them there as a work. I think I put them up as work in progress last time.
Yeah.
They are all done. And then there's the Stender Bear.
Love it. Just love it. Good stuff. Look at that. You went nuts taking photos of that Standard Bearer. You're proud of that one.
Trying to get all the angles. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Is that all the detail on the flag raised?
Yeah, it's all raised.
Yeah. Looks nice. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to do. Just time consuming getting all the detail stuff done.
Yeah.
So, but that is it.
They will not last long on the table for Conquest. There's so two things coming out on the market that I'm excited about. First, you got Conflict 47 coming out.
Right.
Look, I've been looking at the army lists because one of the things that, just like anything, initially when they launched it, a lot of speculation about army builds in the game, but now they've got the army list out, and it looks like it still has a lot of a lot of that vibe from when we were playing Conflict 47. You could build a regular army, like a bolt action style army, and just incorporate a few of the weird things into it. So, but a lot of stuff is moving to plastic, and that's cool because a lot of those metal models, they weren't the best.
They were not.
They were not the best to put together or paint, or like I've got the big bear guys or the werewolf dudes.
Yeah,
I literally had to go out and get my regular drill and pin those arms together because they kept flopping off because they were.
There's a lot of work there. But I played a demo of that at Historicon.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
It looks like it's using 3rd edition bolt action rules.
Yeah.
Because you got templates, and which was basically just a modification of 2nd edition.
But they've added the rift dice.
Yes, and that's what's going to kind of set it apart. So
yeah,
that's kind of exciting to see. I'm kind of interested. I looked at the army list for the armies that I have, and it looks like I can use most everything I already have. Not everything transferred over, which is fine. I'm sure in time, because they're relaunching the game, they probably couldn't afford to make everything into a plastic model kit at this point.
Not initially. I'd venture to guess. No, the thing about it is, though, like for example, in bolt action, you have veteran units, you have raw units, you have all these different classes. A veteran unit in bolt action in a Rift army is no longer veteran.
Right.
Because it's not used to dealing with that. And then the Rift dice adds a whole new thing too, because that can actually multiply up or down the effectiveness of your Rift weapons. So I think that's just a great factor to the game.
There's a couple skill levels you can upgrade them to, like regular troops. You know, you've got like, I think it's green or just, new infantry. And then there's a couple levels you can upgrade to, but nothing dramatic. You don't have hardcore veterans. They're like everybody's. It's a whole new world. So
that's all different. Yeah. So I think they took it a great direction. It plays really well. And so I'm kind of excited to see it come out. So
good morning, Robert.
But I had to get my new Age of Sigmar Chaos Dwarves first.
Yeah, you had to get into those. So that's exciting to see. Maybe there'll be a little bit of an uptick in that game locally, and people will start.
I honestly think there was a lot of attention for it at Historicon. I like what they've done. I like where they're headed with it. Like I said, the mechanic of the Rift dice alone added an extra to it because that actually does change things a bit. And then the whole how your troops are ranked as far as their skill level and their experience level. And they take into consideration that you may be a veteran in normal World War II combat, but this is Rift stuff. You've never
Not a
been
veteran anymore,
attacked by
buddy.
zombies before, so
So it'll be interesting to see. I guess it's all starting to come out. So
no, it's
we're
gonna be good.
starting to see more of where the game is going and the direction it's going. And
Right.
one of the things that I was holding off on is I wanted to see the army list. I wanted to know exactly how to build an army. Am I stuck only using the weird stuff, or do we have that mix still? We still have a good mix. So I'm excited about that, and I still get to keep my daughters of I forget their name, the Soviets.
Oh yeah. I forget what they were called, but I know what you're talking about.
And I still have the metal ones, so I can
Yeah.
still play with those. So
It should be exciting. It should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll see where it goes, but one step at a time. I'll at least definitely get the rule book. I don't know if they're going to do supplemental rule books or if they're going to shift to doing army construction all online, which would make sense.
Right.
Like, here's your rule book. This is how you play the game. Here's some basic information on the armies. But if you want to expand on your armies, go to our online resource, because that's where I was at, was an online resource that had everything out. You could pick and choose like a little army builder, which is kind of where other companies should look at doing, because they change things so like GW changes stuff so rapidly. Kind of moving in that direction it just seems like the right step to make, instead of like, here's a new army book, oh, we're going to change half of it 6 months later. And so I'm kind of excited. And also one-page rules. Are you familiar with one-page rules?
I know they exist. I've never seen them.
So. They're like launching something on GameFound. They're finally going to produce a 2-player starter set box.
Oh, okay.
Because they've got into the miniature realm, so they're making their own. They kind of created their own little factions, and there's dinosaurs. So
yeah, you're done.
I'm done.
If you'd have been Hot Wheels with dinosaurs, those are the two things would suck you in a yard.
I guess. Good morning, David. That's kind of one of the factions that's in there. So they're launching this. Like, I watched MS Paints, and he did the 2-player starter, like a preview version of the 2-player starter set. So his models were kind of a mixture of manufactured plastic models plus some 3D printed stuff. I believe that's why they're doing the GameFound, is so that they can make the molds and everything. Full army set. So they can make the molds and everything for the bigger stuff. Molds are not cheap to make. Even if you're doing like regular spin cast metal silicone molds, they're still not the cheapest thing to make.
No, they're not. They're not. And you have to keep producing them. So
yes, and so you need to make really quality ones. So it'll be it's interesting. I'm gonna watch that.
That'd be interesting.
I like the idea of one-page rules. I've played them a few times. Still, that's just Saturday morning since.
Our PR man's joined us.
Yes, still digging. Like, I like the concept of the one-page rules. They're not. It's more of my speed of. I just want to sit at a table or stand and play a game and not get lost in the nuances of rules.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see, because I've heard of them. I've never read the rules. I don't know what they are, but I've heard of them a lot. Everybody always recommends them.
Yeah.
And the biggest bonus that everybody talked about was how they were miniature agnostic.
Yes.
You can pretty much, and I'm kind of interested to see how them doing their own factions impact that moving forward.
Victor's I like one-page rules as a concept. I like that I push minis, roll dice, and have fun. Beer and pretzels. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
I agree. I completely agree.
And they start one-page rules started a long time ago. They've been around for a long time, and all they did was took the complexity. They took the complexity of 40K and fantasy and just streamlined it. And there's a lot of people out there that do this with like board games,
Yep.
where they will take a board game that has a lot of complexity in the rules and compress it down to like, here are the key concepts that you need to understand to play the game. That's kind of what they started as, and then it just kind of evolved over time into this whole subculture of the miniature realm
Yep.
of one page rules. And it'll be interesting to see how that game found
Yeah,
campaign
no,
works.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good step because it's kind of the next logical step for something like that. One page rules is one page rules.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I'm curious just how they are going to react to having their own line of available minis, and how the public's going to react.
Yes.
I personally think it's a logical next step, and as long as they can straddle both sides of that mix, where they're still miniature agnostic and people use their miniatures they want, or use theirs, as long as they keep that two things, I think they can go pretty far.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the way to go. Miniature games just became too complex. I love, 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 love Jeff's OG40K because yes, the bloating of new.
Yeah, the OG was I was actually very impressed with that, how it went, and how
Yeah.
it also proved a major point to Darren for me.
Yeah.
There were other types of players out there.
Not everybody wants to play a tournament.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when I knew I had done good was when Darren came in at the first one. We had 26 players. Darren walks over to me and I said, "How you doing, bud?" And he goes, and he had this puzzled look on his face. And I went, "How you doing, buddy?" And he goes, "I don't recognize these people." And I went, "I know. Ain't that great? They're not the normal 40K crowd. Not that there's anything wrong with their normal 40K crowd, but they were primarily ITC guys."
Yep.
And I kept chipping away at Darren, going, there are other styles of play out there, but they don't play ITC for a various number of reasons.
Sure.
And that's where Lenny came back. And came back and was playing, because he played when I not owned, but I ran Waterloo, and so that was kind of cool. But that's the thing. There are many different ways, many different facets to a hobbyist, depending on what game he plays. They may like a certain style, certain way you play this, that, and the other. So,
and that might be what attracted me to one page rules.
Yeah,
was it fit my play style of, like, I'll just say Gaslands. Like, I love Gaslands because of its simplicity, and it's still action packed on the table.
Well, you also like to tinker with models.
I do.
And you do. I mean, we all do. I mean, I love to build. I love to tear stuff apart, put it back together. That's what I liked about Gaslands, even though I've never played a game of it. It's that ability to create something that wasn't there before.
Yes.
And quite frankly, I think that was what, with one page rules, that gave you a chance to collect real. I mean, I know there are a lot of people out there that see these gorgeous miniatures that they'll say, "Well, I can't buy that because I don't have a use for it." And one page miniatures fill that gap. They bridge that gap. So it's going to be interesting to see how well their minis do, and what if any effect they have on the direction of where one page rules go.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It'll be nice to see that level of gaming rise up a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's about the models, it's about the gameplay, it's about the playing with somebody else in a very easy to understand way, where we're not like, oh, I can see the tip of your sword through the window, so I get to shoot at your whole unit. Like, we had that happen at one of the OGs where it was like, really? Is that?
Yeah. And really? I had to go with the letter of the rule from GW, which was True Line of Sight, and I never agreed with it. It didn't have common sense.
Right.
And that was also when the OG started to change over time. After we ran more and more, we had ITC guys coming in, and that started getting the level of competition. Again, not a complaint; it's just a natural progression. But it was getting to that point. So
yeah, Victor wrote a paragraph. So many new mini games added cards and command points and enhancements and detachment abilities, etc. People playing the game with phones and tablets open to keep up with every 5 minute looking at the rules. So props to Jeff for the OG 40K, and the community needs more of that. Take a bow, sir.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. But that does bring up a point. Like for example, I was watching a show the other day talking about the 40K app, the GW app,
Mm-hmm.
and that literally my Space Wolf codex that I just bought on paper is obsolete.
Already?
Yeah, because of all this. I mean, they've already up points. They've already changed some, and now that's them basically catering to the competitive play side of the business, which is quite frankly probably the largest portion of players. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but it's kind of curious that if let's go back to the Dark Angel Codex, that's had many alterations point wise and how rules work to where the Codex, the only thing the Codex has now that gives it any value is the code in the back to access the detail, the rules in the app.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious how that's going to play out moving forward.
Well, that's where I'm looking at Conflict 47 and they're doing it all online for the army build stuff. Well, if that's their actual model, because I don't know if that's going to be the actual model moving forward,
Right.
but they do have access to it online right now. If that actually takes off, where you just go out and buy the rule book, okay, you understand how to play the game, these are your rules, this kind of gets your feet wet, get you going, and then you go online, you can build your army list. But like Victor's saying, you don't need to be on an app scrolling through your app all day while you're playing a game, because nothing more annoying than someone trying to min-max something and they're like looking through their app trying to find something.
I had that with my first Infinity event I played with. One of the guys in one of the rounds was on his app and he was taking forever to do his turn because and the thing about Infinity, I do as much of my opponent's turn as he does, depending on what happens. And he was scrolling through the app back and forth, and it got a little tedious. So, yeah. So now I have to say the GW app is actually pretty easy to navigate. And once you have it down, it goes fairly well. Because I played a couple games, but they were friendly, just Dave and I playing, or me and somebody else playing. When we were up at Adepticon, it wasn't anything huge going on. But in a tournament setting where you have a limited amount of time, I can see sometimes that might be an issue.
Well, it could also be used as a distraction to kind of cause your opponent to get a little frustrated because they're, what do they call it, slow playing? I don't know if they still use clocks. And I remember when they started moving into clocks for 40K, I was like, this is the stupidest thing.
Well, they're chess clocks.
Yeah.
And some tournaments use them, some tournaments don't. It just really depends. I get the principle behind it, but I still find it weird and annoying.
Yeah. It's like if I want to use a chess clock and play under a time pressure, I'll just play chess.
In the few organized events that I've played through GW before the ITC and all that stuff started happening, you do have guys that actually legitimately slow play.
Right.
They drag their feet to get and that is a bit unfair.
Right.
So I understand the principle behind it, but it's anytime anything goes mainstream, I get depressed, I think. I prefer D&D when you had to go, no, I play
D&D. It was a whisper.
Yeah, now it's commonplace.
Yeah. It's like it's mainstream. Everybody's doing it.
And why is that? Because people discovered there was money in it.
When there wasn't money in it, nobody cared.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you'll see celebrities now promoting, they're playing and all that fun stuff. So,
and I think awesome. That's fantastic. But it's also something. There's a mystique to it that goes away.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I liked it when it was like part of that little underground culture. Nobody kind of like talked about it, and it was just like you had to have that secret handshake and fist bump and
and in my day, you didn't tell your parents.
Nope.
And then I remember when Waterloo got picketed by a church, and I remember when the lady came in and told me that her son wanted to get some gaming books, but it wasn't going to be anything D&D related because D&D was evil, and she wanted nothing to do with it. And her son picked out a book, and he brings it to the counter, and I look at it, and it was Games Workshop, Realms of Chaos 2, The Lost of the Land. And I went, you want him to have this? She goes, yeah, that seems okay. It's not D&D, is that? I said, no, ma'am, it's definitely not D&D.
No, it's worse. But hey,
It's technically worse. But how you have at it. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just kind of put blinders on and they just hear one thing and they don't actually know, because it was a subculture that nobody knew about, so they didn't
Yeah.
know what GW was all about back then. They didn't understand Sisters of Slanesh.
Yeah.
So yeah, different world, different time, but now everything's kind of out there.
Yeah, it just loses a bit. I mean, I still would love to find a good group to play with up here, and do some stuff, but it's just difficult.
Yeah.
Especially like I said, I live in this gaming void. It's a minimum 70-mile drive to find any good quality places to go play.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Market for D&D in old days needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, there are some bonuses to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well, we're seeing newer companies are starting to rise up, and
yeah, and anytime you have when something takes off, like for example, had Games Workshop not gotten to the level financially that they have, we wouldn't have the literal tons of other miniature games out there.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had I'm trying to think of the name of the game now. There was a board game that came out and kind of exploded the board game industry. We wouldn't have all those cool. It'll come to me like in an hour and a half. I'll just blurt the name out as my 486 processor digs through the hard drive.
I'll get a random text message of a board game. I'll be like, Jeff, why are you sending this to me?
Yeah. I do that. I did that at work the other day. We were talking about Chris asked the guy that played Mina Kunis's boyfriend on that 70s show, and no one could remember his name. And then like 2 hours later, I'm home sitting in my chair, I went, Ashton Kutcher, and I texted it to him.
Rob said Zombicide.
Zombicide's another one. But there's a big one where you collect hay and wood.
Oh, Settlers of Catan.
There you go, Settlers. In my day, we didn't have a lot of board games. Then Settlers of Catan came out just before I came work for Games Workshop, and that kind of caused the board game industry at that level to kind of explode.
Yeah.
And now we've got phenomenal board games out there with fantastic looking minis.
Well, they even that game even ended up in pop culture television with The Big Bang Theory, with whatever weird game and it's like, do you got any wood?
Yeah. But so there's good things to it, because that actually, like I said, there are as a miniature painter, just think about the number of things out there when I started that we had to create ourselves or figure out ourselves. Now you can just buy it. Like I had the plans for the longest time, and actually had built one back in the day for putting static grass on models.
Right.
Get that static effect. Green Stuff Worlds now makes a static box.
Yeah.
There's all that stuff out there that you can actually find. So that's a bonus to all this mainstream that everybody reaps. But I do, out of my oldness, I do miss the nostalgia of, my dad, when I went to work for Games Workshop, he's like, yeah, are you ever going to get a real job? We're selling toys. I said, it is a real job, Dad.
Yeah.
Now, how much does GW gross in a year?
Robert.
And they just started giving really cool bonuses to their staff with their profits. So,
Yeah. The old land speeder that was a deodorant.
Yeah, you could convert the speed stick to a land speeder. That kind of stuff was cool, and it still happens. And you got all the stuff on social media and that you can find. So
keyboard sucks. We should do a land speeder speed stick build between on the channel, because we're all old. I think I think all of us here are old. We should do some sort of a land speeder build where we take a deodorant container of your choosing, because nowadays they come in all shapes and sizes.
They do.
You pick your own body, kind of like a trash build.
Yeah.
And we build our own land speeder, because I'm sure we all like a land speeder yes, it's Space Marine primarily, but you can orcify it, or you can do whatever you want.
There's so many things you can do to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you don't have to limit yourself to a Space Marine land speeder, so you don't have to paint it blue, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, let's get through Thanksgiving,
Okay.
and then we'll come back around to that.
Junk speeder. There you
Junk
go.
speeder.
Junk speeder. Yeah, I'll make a note.
Yeah,
I'll
I
make
think
a
that'd be
note.
fun.
I think that could be actually very exciting.
It could. It
That
could
would,
almost be as exciting as our breakfast cereal show,
exactly. And that
which,
gives
quite frankly, was the highlight of our series of shows.
well, October's still on. October's always on, Victor. There is no ending to October.
For people that used to refer to themselves as the green skin, every month is October.
Yes, every month is October, or it's time to paint orcs. We haven't really discussed anything because we all kind of jumped on the Thanksgiving bandwagon.
Yeah, we kind of I blame Mark for that.
Yeah, let's blame Mark for that.
Yeah, we're gonna blame Mark for that because Mark's got us all hyped up for doing big gigantic tank kits or automobile kits, and
Yeah, so
I blame Mark.
but we really haven't talked about October in any way, shape, or form. So it's like in a week. So we'll think about it. I'll tell you what, Victor, in October, paint an orc.
Paint an orc.
Paint it. We should all just paint an orc or just a regular orc model. Just
Yeah,
paint
because
an orc.
I'm gearing up. I'm gearing up for Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
then now apparently the land speeder deodorant build.
I just think that would be fun. I just think it would add.
Yeah, you should take blame for that, Victor. You were the catalyst for that one, and it was a great show. I had a ball. That was awesome. I want to do it again, not because I think it's a great show to do. I think I just want to eat breakfast cereal online.
There you go. It's a deal. I guess David's in. So
David's set. He's good.
maybe we'll do it to kick off 2026. We'll do it for like January, like a kickoff for the new year.
We start a new year with a throwback to something old.
Yeah, throwback to something old. And that also gives people time to use up their deodorant to get their deodorant because they're probably going to go to the store now.
This is another benefit of gaming being mainstream because most gamers now use deodorant.
There you
go. In my day, they didn't know what it was.
Well, it'll be a public service build-a-thon where we need people to use deodorant so that they can get an empty deodorant container so that we can have models to build. There you go. Have Halloween orc showcase. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be good.
Everybody paint an orc in October and post it up on our. I think we still have an October.
I think we do. I think we have a page on the Discord yet.
Throw it in there, and I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna have to pull out like an old orc model, just because I can.
Absolutely.
Because I have 10,000 of them sitting in boxes all over.
The last orc I painted was the one under my dreadnought's foot.
No, you had to go there.
I did go there. I did go there.
I'm just gonna kick you when you're down, Mike. I'm gonna send you an orc model to paint because you probably don't have any orc models.
Well, you have one. You have the perfect orc model on your desk that you're waiting for the axe for.
I am, and it should be here soon. So that's probably who I will paint. And just so people know, Jeff sent me. How old is this model?
That was an Adepticon model that Battlefront did back when I was still there, working there.
Jeff sent me.
I felt it needed to be with the green skin, but I lost the axe.
Well, you didn't lose it; you misplaced it.
I misplaced it, and I recently found it. So when I just sent him the box that I got from Historicon that we featured on the show, the axe is stuffed in the miniature part.
Now, did you forewarn the gentleman that gave you that box that I will modify it and I will change it?
I am going to let him be completely surprised.
Okay. Next June we do a dinosaur. June 1st. This recognizes National Dinosaur Day.
We'll do a dinosaur. It'll be awesome.
Well, remind us in June. Well, probably before June. And that's coming up because I'll forget. Just like I'll probably forget 99% of everything we talk about during this show by the time this evening comes around.
I just thought about it. If you actually watch the speeder race in the prequels, the Star Wars prequels,
Yes.
I think some of those were speed sticks that were converted, and they all look very, 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 very different.
But you have to do the base has to actually be a speed not a
It
doesn't
has
have
to
to
be
be
some kind of deodorant bottle.
it has to be a deodorant bottle. You can strip all the stuff off it and all that, but it has to be a deodorant bottle. You can slap on so much stuff that we never know it's a deodorant bottle because with armor plating and all that kind of stuff, have at it.
Right.
But it actually has to be a
It
deodorant
has to
bottle.
be built around a deodorant bottle.
And now this is where I will challenge people to step outside their comfort zone, learn how to scribe panel lines into the deodorant stick bottle and learn a new skill of scribing panel lines because that's what I'm trying to do right now. And it's horrific.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
scribing fresh panel lines, like actual new, like taking a flat piece of plastic and trying to scribe, it is hard. I am
yeah,
not going to lie about that. It is
yeah. I watched video on it. Yeah, no.
It, it is. It's easier to cut up new plastic in squares and glue it to a surface than it is to try to describe a panel
Trying to
line
describe panel lines on.
into
Yeah, no,
a.
I get it. Absolutely.
It is not easy work. So,
Not at all. So,
but it is a skill that you could practice on a like a deodorant stick container because well, it's just going to end up in the. I don't recycle those, but because it's just I don't think they're recyclable. Well, they should be
it
because they're
will
plastic.
be in your pile of failed projects.
And I do.
Everybody has one. They just don't admit it.
Well, I like trash builds. I like watching videos.
No, that's some of the best stuff in the world.
Oh, the way so people they see a weird container and they're able to make something and they walk you through the process. They show you everything they do, and it is just amazing to see what people create.
The very first conversion I ever did as a commission, the guy that taught me to play 40K had a gigantic humidifier that stopped working.
Uh-huh.
And it looked like a tank. And he goes, "Can you make this a tank?" And it was huge. And I made it a tank, and I made it a chaplain vehicle, and we called it the Podium.
Oh, the
And
podium.
I literally mounted wheels because it looked like a tank. So I cut the bottom out. I mounted wheels. It was a labor of love, but it came out pretty nice.
Robert, thank you for the link to scribing tools. I do have scribing tools. I'm still terrible at it.
I have them too, and I've never used them because I looked at it and went, "This is hard."
I also bought scribing tape. Are you familiar with scribing
I
tape?
am. Mm-hmm.
Like really thick tape to help line it and scribe.
Yeah.
It's still complicated.
I had to pick some of that up when I realized that duct tape didn't work because it left residue.
Yeah, you just damage it and turn it into a piece of string. There you go. There you go. Yeah, once you start scribing, if you mess something up, I'll just weather it. I'll just hide all my mistakes in weathering. What were you going to ask about? Oh, scribing tape, probably. Yes, I picked up some scribing tape. It's a good skill. So
I think I'm going to ban conversations about all the cool stuff you can get because all the cool places you have up there until I get some up here. We can talk about Harbor Freight because we finally have one.
Oh,
but we've had it for a while.
How many times have you been there?
Too many. The sad part is I use it like a museum. I walk through and I go, "Wow, someday I'll buy that."
What's Robert saying? I use mine for cleaning models of mold lines and sprue vents. I can't drive a straight line the same way. Yes, it is hard. So, anywho.
But anyway, after we get through Thanksgiving,
okay,
we will then begin setting up for the deodorant bottle conversion madness.
Well, we'll start it off in I think January will be a good time because in December we take a couple weeks off because everyone's busy with the holidays and the craziness of life, and it gives us time to break and spend time with our family. And then
it'll give me time to go when I go to the grocery to go through all the different types of deodorant bottles and find out which one I want.
Yes, you need to find the particular one that works. I'm going to go with this old school kind of rounded speed stick. I use Right Guard, or no, I use old man stuff. Old Spice. Old Spice. So they're nice and rounded with a nice little dial that will be my vent in the back. I'm thinking interesting concept. Yes, but I will panel line it with scribing tools the best I can.
I will walk through the aisle, gaze upon all the different receptacles for deodorant, and open myself to my muse, and it will pick the proper bottle.
There you go. I am excited.
Or I'll go, this is cheap.
You're going to be at the 99-cent store looking at like weird.
This is good. This will work.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. I think that would be a lot of fun. This sounds like a project for my son. Yes, it is a definite project. So it'll be like New Year, old stuff from old men.
Well, you know where the whole thing about pod racing came? When I just made a comment about pod racing, like that, I literally went, I could do something for Star Wars, like a pod where the two engines are speed sticks.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. You know, so there's a lot out there. So you can do it.
Get one of the tiny travel sticks and do a squat speeder, Jeff.
I could, or I could redo Logan Grimnar's sleigh, two wolves pulling an anti-grav, you know.
All it has to have is a deodorant container as the base.
As the base. So
you're good to go.
There are so many ways we could go.
I'm thinking I'll do the Fred Flintstone one. I'll have the feet sticking out the bottom for the Yabba Dabba Doo, and it's an orc one, and that's how they control it.
I think David should go through those old model collection of the old fast cars with the monster with a big hand coming out for the gear shift.
Yes.
That should be coming out of the top of his speed stick. There we
go. There you go. Grot speeder with travel deodorant stick. Yeah, there's
so many ways we can go with this.
It's gonna be interesting. Go through your bits boxes now.
So we now have 3 months, October, November, December, to find your design your model, think about what you want to do, pick up your stuff, and then January 1 we'll
launch. And that will mean what that means is that you and I need to start recording ourselves.
Yeah.
No more chatty. We got to start chopping and
more button pushing.
More button pushing that we are no good at.
We're not good at all.
I can't figure out how to thumbs up. Yes, Victor's comment. I don't know if you can thumbs up someone's comment.
I think you can. I just don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know. That's technology, and it's hard enough for Jeff and I just to press a few buttons to get the show up and running.
I gave him a star.
There you go. You can do a star, but you can't do a thumbs up.
Star. There we go.
Yeah, it gives us time to pick one and use it. Thank you.
And for some of you, that will be awesome. No. Wait, that was me. I was deflecting.
Deflecting. Yes.
Woohoo!
It's a go. We are going to make this happen for 2026. Get your milliput out because you're going to need a lot of milliput.
Epoxy sculpt.
I just picked up some milliput for a project that I'm working on. So
I'm getting ready to order more epoxy sculpt. I'm almost out. So.
Yeah, I picked up some of that not too long ago. So
good stuff.
Yeah. Milliput's just a little bit different in how it goes on. So a little bit more water activated. And I watched someone do a video on it and I was like, I should probably pick some of that up and give it a shot.
Milliput?
Huh?
Milliput?
Yeah.
Yeah, Milliput's good stuff.
I never really played with it that much, so
good stuff.
I'm thinking it might be good. Mike and Jeff have cans with a string going between them and don't.
I got so much fun out of that. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's all. It's one long string. Trust me. As if I need another project for my pile of shame. Don't make it a pile of finish the project, Victor, and it won't be shame.
I'm just saying.
Just putting it out there in the world. You'll have a month to work on it. Like
we've given you 3 months to plan.
Yeah.
And then a month to build.
Any idea on how to refresh epoxy sculpt? I bought it a long time ago and it dried on me.
No, once it's dry, it's done.
Like once the oil separates, you can't mix it. It's not like paint.
One of the things I did, David, because I bought the big quarter pound,
yeah.
Is I took cellophane, and when I opened it the first time and peeled off the sealed plastic inside, I took cellophane and stretched over it and put the lid back on, and that actually extended its life because it gave it a better seal.
Because the lids aren't like super.
Yeah, the plastic. Once you pull that plastic seal that's adhesive to the top of the container. Let me show you the container I'm talking about. This is an old one. I just threw it away, but in my rush to get online, David, I had these. This is the I think this is the A side, part A. They come like this in here, but they're not in a bag. But there's a plastic seal and glued to the rim. Well, the minute you pull that off, these lids don't fit really tight. So I stretched cellophane, rubber band, put the lid back on, and that kept it. However, when you buy the smaller containers, these seal up quite nicely, and I've had these for years. These are the replacements. I just now replaced the original set of these I bought from IO.
Yeah. David renamed the pile of shame into a pile of potential and opportunity.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, change your language. It's not shame, it's opportunity.
Absolutely.
And one day it will come knocking on your door again and say, finish me.
Because when you look at it, you have the opportunity to realize, what a big pile of shame.
I am looking forward to this concept and this project. So I can't wait to see some of our viewers' creative side, because you can't just go out and buy this model or 3D print this model. You actually have to scratch build it and maybe do some research into what some of the old ones actually looked like through magazines and stuff.
But you can 3D print your accessories.
Yes, you can.
There you go.
But what fun is that? What fun is that?
I'm just saying. The opportunities are endless.
All right. So we got something to do after Thanksgiving.
I'm planning on going to different game shops around the area, watching games being played, and maybe steal little pieces of other people's models and use that. That would not happen.
Remember, kids, Imperial Guard had land speeders back then.
Lead ones.
It's a lot of fun. Yes. Because I got all kinds of Gundam bits that I can slap on, and
I have so many tank bits. I've got a bunch of old Flames of War turrets.
Ooh, that could be fun. A little out of scale, but
not for Conflict 47, baby. Imagine, because what you always see in Conflict, you see the old chassis with a bright new Rift weapon.
Yes.
What about a Rift anti-grav chassis with an old tank?
Oh, yes.
We're gonna flip it on its head there.
Yeah.
Lead sleds.
Aren't those supposed to be put on Gundam bits for Gundam? No. Don't judge.
David, don't be a stick in the mud.
Don't judge.
David, don't judge. One person I thought would be all behind us being a Debbie Downer.
There's lots of Gundams out there. If some can
since he started working at Andy's and has access to all this stuff, he's become a little lofty.
But I still love hanging out with David. So.
Hey, David's a great guy. I'm just giving him a hard time. By the way, your books are en route to you, sir.
The Are these the
I had he sent me when I came back last time. He gave me a pair of my books.
okay.
Sons of Fenris and Wolf's Honor, asked me to autograph them. I said I could take those back with me and have Harry Heckle sign them. I finally hooked up with Harry. Harry signed them, and they're now heading back. So they are signed by the author Lee Leitner.
En route. David has become a hobby snob.
He has. Well, I work in the industry. I know what I'm talking about. I don't think Andy sells any deodorant sticks, so you better get out into the world.
Yes.
Find a good deodorant stick.
Get out there and find a cool shape that you can make into a land speeder.
I'm even thinking about venturing off into the wild blue yonder and not using a deodorant stick. I'm going to use a body spray bottle.
Ooh. Now we'll have to make a ruling on that.
What?
Like a deodorant body spray?
Yes.
Okay, as long as it's deodorant based.
Yes.
Well, body spray could be Axe. Like you could be trying to.
It's still deodorant body spray.
I don't know if Axe counts as deodorant. It just counts as cover up of body odor.
It's also women repellent, but I do not know something like Axe that I hear nothing but people talking about how horrible it is sells so well. I just don't know.
It's kind of like Nickelback.
I use Old Spice body spray.
Yes, it's kind of like Nickelback. Like
don't get me started on Nickelback. I love Nickelback.
I love them to death, but they get so much like
because they were a band that were honest. We're here to make money.
Yes, and they
didn't hide it. They didn't say, but it's about the music. No, it's about the paycheck.
It's about the paycheck. So yeah, whatever. Like
they still make good music.
Anyone that gets into music, it doesn't want to make money, then they're not into music because it's at the end of the day, you're making music to make money so you can make a living so you can make music.
That's how my brain works, but apparently I'm weird.
Yeah. Like I love making music, but unfortunately I go someplace else to work.
I like making stuff that I'm never going to finish and put it in my pile of shame.
Opportunity.
Because out of all the stuff I do, that's the one I do most consistently.
That is hilarious. Just hilarious.
I mean, oh my God, if I ever cataloged all my projects I started but never finished, it would be like a 12. I'd have to call Dave to do like a 12-volume set. Dave Taylor Publishing, Jeff's unfinished projects. Here they are.
That would actually make a good book.
It would be a 12-volume set.
Well, just in general, like we always see art or miniatures at the finished stage. Like we see these masterpieces, and Dave's got his volumes of books out there.
They're fantastic books, by the way.
Yes, celebrating artists. He should shift and go, now let's have a real conversation about projects you started and why they never got finished. Because a lot of the people he highlights are kind of award-winning painters.
People that actually finish stuff.
Yeah, that's like, let's see it the other way of like, show us this model you started painting and working on for a competition and why it went wrong, and document that.
Here's the thing. I'm going to do what's called an anti-memoir.
Okay.
I'm going to do a memoir to be published after my death of all the things in my life I never finished.
Time Life presents. It will be a book a month.
Well, here's what I would have liked to have done with my life.
Yes. All you got to do is really look in my bits box and you'll see all my failed projects. Yeah. Projects I started. Like I had this crazy idea in my head and I started working on that crazy idea. And I'm like, yeah, this was even too crazy for me. Put it in the bits box. My entire gem. Yes. That would actually, I think that's the kind of book that might get a little bit more attention on the market, of like taking these really well-known artists and saying like, here's something I started, but this is why I didn't finish it, because this is where everything went wrong for me. Kind of like when I was talking with Mark about failed build projects, and he went and pulled out models. He's like, yeah, check that. This same concept, but
I will be known as Jeff the Amazing Quitter. These are all the projects I started, but just said, heck with it. It's not worth finishing.
To take you one step further, you literally have a gorgeous display cabinet full of unfinished projects. Right there.
Those bottom two shelves are
Yeah.
because I just get in the mood to build something. And I want to build it. And then I build it and go, well, I don't have time to paint it. So I put it at the bottom shelf. And I push it. You'll be good someday.
Maybe that will be the title of the speech, or not the speech, the book, The Bottom Shelf.
The bottom shelf.
This is where you
Jeff's
put in.
bottom shelf.
There you go. There's your bottom shelf.
I'm depressed. Can we go now?
But don't let should we just call it the speed stick challenge?
Yeah, sure.
Don't let the speed stick challenge become your bottom shelf.
We've just gone evangelical.
Over purchase and under motivated.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In some cases, it'd be like, this is so far above my skill level. What am I doing?
As you can see right up there, those are all over purchased and under motivated projects. Yes, all my starter boxes.
Yeah.
And 2 players.
Well, here's the thing, though. Your memoir would be my lifelong search for the best box. Because you buy. I've literally seen you buy miniatures based on the box they're in, because it's such a great box.
But they're great box. Like when GW moved to the hard cardboard boxes, I'm like, I just want the box.
I just need the box. I need to have the box.
I would tell people, what are you going to do with that box? Oh, I want the box.
Right. Right now, the show we're making will be used in both of our competency hearings. When we're older. They should not be allowed to take care of themselves.
No. I literally go out shopping for boxes.
I really wish Jake would show up, because we can't quit the show until Jake shows up.
Well, he usually shows up at the last minute. So
he always does. That's what I'm saying. He shows up just as we're going off.
It's like, oh, Jake's here. Time to go.
I'm gonna. If he doesn't log in before we sign off, I'm gonna send him a text like at 4:00 and say, Jake, we've been online since this morning waiting for you. We haven't signed off yet. What the hell?
We're talking about absolutely nonsense. So, do you know who has a lot of great boxes?
Don't enable him, dude.
And he's yes, Andy.
Now, David, it's just not that it's contained in a box. It has to be a box of certain quality. The contents of the box have no bearing.
No bearing.
No bearing at all.
What do you think turned me on to Conquest?
The box.
The box.
They were great boxes.
Oh, they're fabulous. They've kind of moved away from it, unfortunately. And that's why I don't buy as much. But like the original boxes that they started using were just the best hard cardboard, like board game quality boxes for miniatures. And I'm like, I just like the box.
You could go through old GW boxes and measure their financial status based on the boxes they were using.
So when they
there were some that were like rock solid, nice, heavy boxes. Others were like paper mache.
Yes.
And they were holding the same amount of content.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care what's in the box. I just care about the box.
My point exactly.
Maybe that will be my book. What's in the box?
I told you my life for the my search for the perfect box.
The perfect box. I still haven't found the perfect box.
Did you ever buy Scale 75 speed paints or contrast paints, whatever the hell they were calling them? With that nice wooden box?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, I bought it for the box. The paint's crap.
I wanted the paints, which they're not bad paints, but the box was a big bonus.
Yes. The new Sony headphones come in a great box. Guess who's electronics now? I might have to pick up some new headphones. I have
the Gundam Perfect Grade kits have handles.
I know, they're awesome. I actually am buying. So for Christmas this year, I'm actually gonna. I'm not big into buying perfect grade model Gundams because I've never built one, don't know anything about them, only have seen videos of people building them. But Andy's gonna buy me a perfect grade Gundam for Christmas.
Ooh.
And it will be bought from Andy's, just so David knows. And hopefully David will be there when it is purchased, so that he can. I want to get the winged Gundam. There's like a wing gun. It's got actual wings on it, and I want to pick that up.
Perfect grades are nice.
There's yes, yeah. Watching the model builds, I will be there. Watching the model builds is like they're just like, oh my gosh, because they're larger models and there's so many moving parts, and
The real grades are interesting too.
I do love real grades.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because you have what labeling wise, they got what they call high grade,
Right.
which high grade is actually kind of an introductional grade. And
Yeah.
then you go real grade, which is just a better version of a high grade with
Yeah.
more parts and details. And then master grades are just larger version of real grades. And then perfect grades are like the phenomenal. And they actually got stuff that goes beyond perfect grade.
I know. It's insane.
It's insane. I love it.
Yeah. The kit that when I realized that they were run by aliens, was when they started introducing, because they have all the different colors on the sprue. You even have one sprue that's like 3 different colors.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the Darth Vader kit and they made a face for when he wasn't wearing his mask.
Yes.
And the face was one piece, but it had like 6 different colors because it showed all the decay and the all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, that was a fantastic kit.
Yes.
It was awesome. It was great.
David, it's unleashed. They have like an unleashed version of kits that are just like, oh my God. Yeah. They're just amazing. And I guess Bandai actually has that technology licensed or copywritten.
Oh, they do. They have that all locked up.
Because I watch videos of like third-party manufacturer models and stuff, because there's some amazing third-party manufacturers or other companies out there. And people have mentioned that because they put in like little sprues and they can't add it to the sprue because Bandai actually has that technology copywritten or patented or something like that. And
I'm waiting for them to put out a grade kit that I can enjoy.
What's that?
I have to sell something else to buy it grade.
A what?
I have to sell something else to buy it grade.
I have to sell my car to buy this one.
Yeah, I can't afford that. I have to put this on eBay before I can buy it. That kind of grade. That's the grade. They're all that grade to me actually right now.
Yeah. Well, they are fun to build. I do like high grades are entertaining to build because they're pretty simplistic.
Yeah, they are.
Real grades are kind of cool, but once you start getting into the master grades, the larger scaled ones, it's like. But I am going to get
grades are a lot of fun.
I am going to get a perfect grade for Christmas. It will be in a gorgeous box, and it will probably just sit on a shelf for a while until I feel confident enough.
I had a perfect grade 72nd scale Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
And I ended up selling it.
Ooh.
Not because I needed the money, but because I literally felt bad that kit was just going to sit on my shelf forever.
That thing was huge, wasn't it?
It was huge, and I knew I was never going to get to it.
Yeah.
I just I got too many projects in front of it I want to do, and I said I'm just going to sell it. And just because that way, hopefully it ends up in the hands of someone that's going to do something.
Probably not.
Thank you for depressing me. Now I got to go.
I am getting that. What are you getting the Millennium Falcon, David? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a great
I wonder
kit.
if they're going to reprint that anytime soon, or if it's still available. I don't know if it's still available because I'm sure that was not.
There's plenty of them online, for sale, but I haven't seen any that are like where they've reproduced them. But that's the other thing weird about Bandai is that they have a really weird release schedule.
Yeah, well,
I always struggle with that trying to stock them for IO. He has it. Awesome.
Okay.
I had a hard time with that because some kits will go away, and when they come back, they'll have the same name. They're a different kit and a different code, and that was always a struggle to keep up with it. They have a really odd way of producing and selling and reproducing kits. They don't just, hey, we're going to reproduce kit number 1, 2, 3, 4 and put it back out again. It comes out new, different. it's the same model Gundam,
Right.
but there'll be some differences about it, different box and a completely different code. But the name's the exact same.
Yeah. Well, they've been going through recently and updating older models, like updating them to newer standards because where they were at production wise back then has changed.
Right.
Because they keep pushing the boundaries and pushing the boundaries. Like they've got the new, so they're getting ready to celebrate their anniversary of so many years, and they've got a Gundam model coming out. It's like an old model, like their original Gundam model, but it is like super duper uber grade type stuff with lights and all kinds of stuff in it. It's ridiculously priced. It is like their most expensive model, even more than the Millennium Falcon. It's going to be like this uber price. And I watch videos on it and I'm like, no, I'm not buying that.
They're like Legos. Like, I mean, Lego just put out this massive Death Star kit that's
really like the cross section.
Yeah. It's really expensive.
It's like $1,000.
There's a lot of Lego kits out there I'd love to have that I just like,
whoa. Yeah. Andy wants all the Harry Potter ones, and I'm like, where are you going to put them? And she's like, you don't need a hobby room. Yeah, that's kind of how that goes. All right, everybody. Well, Jake hasn't chimed in.
We're leaving anyway.
30. We're going to cut out anyways. We'll be back next Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Without cereal. Maybe we'll have cereal. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I haven't thought about it that much.
We'll figure that out as we get there. But everybody, have yourself a wonderful day. Think about your speed stick challenge model build. Maybe when you're out and about, take a look at some different shapes and sizes out there. See Andy's.
But don't forget Thanksgiving.
Yes, Thanksgiving is just around the corner. Paint an orc, Victor. Paint an orc for October. Just one orc, not a grot.
And then place it firmly under the foot of a dreadnought.
Ah, that hurt. That hurt. All right, everybody, we're out. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you next Saturday.
See you guys.